It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back. We got another video suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community, so shout out to question 808 for suggesting this, as well as a few of you that were actually talking about this particular article. So I wanted to actually give it a read, and the original will be linked in the description, of course, and I wanted to kind of debunk the tier list. Now, thankfully, there is it seems like a bit of a list here already, so we can kind of skip around if we need to. And it says from the top we have the characters, the Nurse, Blight, and Billy are considered to be S tier, but not bad. Now, mind you, this is one of those tier lists that don't have like multiple letters besides like just S to D. There's no S plus or A minus or anything like that. So this is as general as it's going to get. And I'm going to talk about them individually as we get to them. But next we have the first, which A tier, yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't go out of my way to say that they're like a high A tier by any means. I don't know if this is in order of their strength or just in general of the list. It doesn't really seem like it's in alphabetical either, so I don't really imagine. It might be haphazardly thrown into a list. But it says Krasu, which Krasu A tier at this point. I mean, I think that's debatable. I think they've sort of fallen off, I guess, in that sense. But I can't be, 100% like confirmed for that. But we'll have to continue and take a look. So Ghoul in A tier, that makes sense. Spirit. Wraith in A tier is kind of crazy, dog. Let's okay. Let's take a look. It says one of the easiest kills available, widely used by comp in long time. Really? Incredibly popular. Debatable. Wailing power becomes almost completely invisible. Playing close sense your surroundings, he can vaguely make out as a blur, but sneak up on players and repairs or healing. While cloaked, has increased movement, close down the gap. Caveat is unable to injure down. Then while cloaked, you must uncloak. While the Wraith is superb for sacrificing quickly, the trick to mastering the killer comes with knowing exactly when to cloak and uncloak. No, that doesn't really explain why this would be considered an A tier killer by any means. I mean, just because you can walk fast doesn't magically mean that you're jumping up like, and skyrocketing through the tier list. So like that doesn't really make any sense. I'm a bit confused by that, to be honest. And it says that you don't want to get tripped up by holding the action button long enough to uncloak, because it'll give your location away. But that doesn't mean that Wraith is A tier. Like, that doesn't even explain anything, actually. That literally doesn't explain anything. I'm like, they're just like, oh, here's what the Wraith does, and then that's it. Like, we don't get any additional information on the actual character and why they would be considered A tier. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What are we ranking this by? Hold on, it says best Dead by Daylight killers are. So it's supposed to be based on strength, right? So it says, yeah, they're trying to say which ones are the best killers. So if that's the case, then why are we not getting an accurate explanation as to why Wraith would even be remotely considered an A tier when he's clearly not? That already doesn't fill me with much confidence here. Zeno? What? Freddy? Springtrap? Come on now. No. This person has never played this game before. Like, there is just no way. There's just no way they're unironically saying that, bro. This is like one of the worst tier lists I've ever seen, actually. Legion, Plague, Hag, Slinger, Oni. Oni in C tier is kind of insane. Twins, Pig, Clown. Okay, those are pretty close to where we need it to be, but except Myers might be more in the C tier category. I don't think D tier is a bit low. The Cenobite, Trapper, Skull Merchant, those kind of make sense. Artist in B, yeah, I guess. Singularity, I thought Singularity would be more of an A tier, but yeah, this definitely is not. Yeah, they literally are just giving like the Spark Notes, like, you know, version, I guess you could say, or like the just a brief summary of the character, but it doesn't explain anything about the gameplay or explain anything as to why the character, like, they literally just copy pasted like a wiki and called it a day. Like, they didn't actually. You know what else is also going to tell you a lot, and this also proves what I've been telling you guys when it comes down to the sort of like the balance of the game and all that kind of stuff, is the fact that right here it says the Singularity works exceptionally well as an M1 killer. We even got a win without any perks in our first Singularity game. So mind you, when we're talking about like gaming journalists and things like that, they don't know jack shit about gaming. They don't know jack shit about the game they're talking about 9 times out of 10. So this is going back down to what Survivor mains love to forget about when they have conversations and quote unquote discussions, which is them just coping and crying about how, oh my god, it's so hard for me to play in solo queue. Is the mere fact that this person is literally stating that they got a win perkless with Singularity on their very first game. Now, because of their lack of knowledge that I'm seeing within this article, that tells me a lot about who is speaking about this character. Works exceptionally well as an M1 killer. We even got a win without any perks in our first Singularity game. You don't win perkless in your very first game unless you're going against opponents that don't really do much. That is just how it works. Like that, that's just not physically possible. Because keeping in mind that the only time you're seeing that is because your opponents are just simply not experienced. So even just looking over the article, like they just kind of say the same stuff like that we already know just by looking at the bio of the character. All of this stuff is literally just taken from the wiki, and it has nothing new to offer to the conversation. It doesn't explain, you know, like in massive detail as to why they would be stronger than something else. It's literally just like, here's the wiki, and they called it a day. Like, this is one of the worst tier lists I've ever seen. So let's see here about they say about Ghostface. Stalk action, leave them exposed, doesn't change the fact that there's no bonus to only method of attack, which is a simple melee. Succeed with the killers to master the stealthy stalk ability. Need to purchase, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not saying anything that's adding to anything in the conversation. And Bubba is a weak character as well. Like, I understand that. But all they say is like, here's what the power does, and it's a DLC character, so it costs like in-game currency, or you could buy the DLC on Steam or something, and it's like, that's that's wonderful, but it doesn't actually provide anything else. Like, you can say right here, it says like it uses the special ability leaving the remnant behind. The judge is able to teleport to any locker. If you're standing small distance from locker, this is better when nightfall is activated. Terror radius for 60 seconds. Then it says teleport skill from jumping to a front of a chase, stopping the progress, find the location. They're just slow and noisy, blah blah blah. Then it says this dredge must be brought from the DLC pack. Like it doesn't say anything. It's literally just giving you the like. This is such a like a waste of time, like to have even written this, because it offers nothing. So I don't know. I mean, if you're curious on reading the article yourself, we've moved this ever controversial Freddy Krueger right up to the low A. Nightmare went through serious changes, following years of hate as one of the worst killers to play. Freddy's power. Why do they put Freddy spelled like that? Like, why do they? I don't think that's how you spell Freddy, bro. At least for that, like that's not his name, bro. It's with a Y. Put survivors in dream world and all survivors enter automatically. Will hit to basic attack, force them to dream state. Dream pallets and snares. Cannot hear the radius. Make dream pallets explode, injuring survivors. Set the dream timer of awake survivors. The injure effect is one of the 2 powerful moves. The snare. Okay. Wake themselves up by missing skill checks or interacting with alarm clocks, but while asleep they have a strong advantage. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's look at the Chucky one too. So it says minor release, nerves, maneuverability. Chucky remains one of the most brutal. A little hard to control. That aren't used to playing killer. Chucky's other power, Heidi Ho mode, in his slight size means it's still phenomenally strong. Not necessarily, but okay. Makes him undetectable, short of the most windows. Easy sneak up on unsuspecting victims as a new player to the killer side. So right here, if you had another you know, piece of evidence that can help you kind of understand where I'm coming from, it even says right here, even as a new player to the killer side, because they're talking about their experience in ranking the characters from their experience, right? So they're literally stating themselves that they are a new player, even as a new player to the killer side. They said it themselves. So it explains a lot as to like why there's a lot of like things that aren't really making a lot of sense. So hopefully that kind of clears things up. I mean, I would have crashed out probably, but at the same time, it's like this person doesn't know what they're talking about, and so we have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. And they're most likely just trying to fill a quota or some kind of what do you call it, like probably their job is to just write articles about bullshit. So I think this is one of those examples of that, if like in the best way I could describe it. But let me know your thoughts on the article here, and if you've read it, let me also know what you think about it. But I don't think it's very good. Consider checking out my Rivals channel and or becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members: Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Hargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.